Sacrifice a zombie to the altar.
First blood.
Trigger Wilhelt to make a zombie.
Multi-kill.
Good game?
ZOMBO combo.
This might be what you hear when the game ends, but what's actually going on behind the scenes? Welcome back to Better Know a Combo, brought to you by the Spike Feeders and GameGenic. We're barreling right into spooky season this year with a ZOMBO combo. The two main cards involved in this combo are coming to Commander on September 24th with the release of Innistrad Midnight Hunt. Out of the Commander decks, we've got Wilhelt the Rot Cleaver. This is a legendary 3/3 zombie warrior for 2, a blue and a black, that reads, whenever another zombie you control dies, if it didn't have Decayed, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed. Decayed is a new keyword. It means that the creature token can't block, and when it attacks, you have to sacrifice it at the end of your combat. At the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice a zombie. If you do, draw a card. That first triggered ability is what's going to fuel the combo when we pair it with our second card from the main set, Poppet Stitcher. Well, kinda. We're really looking to transform it. Its reverse side is a blue artifact named Poppet Factory. It reads, creature tokens you control lose all abilities and have base power and toughness 3/3. We'll also need a sacrifice outlet, and today we're using one of my favorites, Altar of Dementia. With Wilhelt and Poppet Factory in play, I'll cast Altar of Dementia. When it resolves, I'll sacrifice one of my creature tokens to the altar. So I'll choose a target for my altar's ability, and Wilhelt's ability will trigger and go on top of it on the stack. I'll resolve Wilhelt's ability to make a zombie, then I can resolve the altar's ability and we're back to where we started. I can do this as many times as I want until my opponent's libraries are empty. Then I simply pass the turn and watch each of my opponents lose the game when they attempt to draw a card on their turn. This sounds awesome, but how can people interact? Let's take a look at the combo and talk about the ways you can interact at the times that you receive priority. This combo requires Wilhelt, Poppet Factory, and a sack outlet to be in play at the same time. Ideally, you'll want to point your spot removal at one of these pieces while the last one is on the stack, because once this gets rolling, it can be so tough to disrupt. At any point in this combo, you can also bounce the Poppet Factory. When it returns to play, it'll be a creature and I'll have to wait until my next turn to transform it again. Sacrifice a zombie to the altar. When you get priority, there will be an altar activation targeting one of my opponents, and Wilhelt's trigger to make a zombie will be on top of it on the stack. You can destroy any of the pieces of the combo at this point, but if I've got more zombies in play to feed to the altar, I can respond to your spot removal and keep things moving. This means you'll actually need one piece of spot removal per zombie I've got in play to stop me in my tracks, unless what you've got has split second. This is why it's so important to fire off that interaction before all the pieces hit the board. You can also counter Wilhelt's trigger or the Altar of Dementia activation, but I definitely recommend hitting the Wilhelt trigger here unless you're using specifically Trickbind. If you can stop Wilhelt from making more zombies, you have a good chance at surviving. If you are playing Trickbind, I would recommend countering the altar activation, because Trickbind's rules text will prevent me from activating the altar again this turn even if I've got more zombies to sacrifice. Because this combo can be executed at instant speed, after the Wilhelt trigger resolves, I can either let the altar ability resolve, or I can respond to it by sacrificing the zombie I just made to stack another altar ability on top of it. They both have the same end result though. My opponent's libraries are empty and I'm ready to win the game by passing the turn. Technically speaking, stacking the triggers could be a little safer in the event that one of my opponents has spot removal that's accessible once it hits their graveyard. If I execute enough loops of this combo to empty everybody's library before I start milling anyone, I don't really care if the pieces stay around while I'm resolving all of my altar abilities. But what if you're not playing reactive spells like that? Prevention is going to be the best medicine. How can we
Shut them down?
This combo requires its controller to activate the ability of an artifact. If you've been watching this series for a while, you know that this falls right in the wheelhouse of Karn the Great Creator, Nullrod, and Collector Roof. You can also prevent Wilhelm from triggering when your zombies die. Hushbringer is your best friend here. Angel of Jubilation will actually prevent your opponents from sacrificing creatures to activate abilities, meaning Wilhelt will never trigger in the first place. Altar of Dimension needs targets. This means you can play Witchbane Orb, Leyline of Sanctity, or Shalai Voice of Plenty to prevent yourself from getting milled out. Finally, Blood Artist and Suture Priest will trigger every time I make a zombie. This puts a hard cap on the number of times I can activate Altar of Dementia before succumbing to my wounds. That just about does it for this episode of Better Know a Combo. If you have a combo you'd like to see explained, make sure you let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you next time.